No one really gets it, but I'm telling you, Airtable is the best single piece of software for your short-term rental business or any business. I love it. I tell everyone I love it. No one gets it. I want to show you right now just a few of the reasons why Airtable is the biggest game changer for your business, especially compared to anything to do with Google Sheets. It's 10,000 times better than Google Sheets. Google Sheets is pen and paper compared to this. It is light years ahead as far as what it can do, especially when you're coming at it from an automation viewpoint and making your life easier and your business easier and more effective and efficient. Airtable is incredible. Let's take a look at it. I'll show you what's similar and then what is just exponentially better than any sort of spreadsheet you've used before. Okay, so you look at this, and I know what you're thinking. You're like, wow, thanks, Sean. It's a spreadsheet. Yeah, I've seen those before. Appreciate the groundbreaking information. And while I'll agree, it does look a lot like a spreadsheet, by design, I might add, because they're trying to make it easy and approachable for people. Let me show you some magic tricks that Airtable does that Google Sheets could never dream of. So there's the obvious stuff like enter in your first name. You can just click in there and type if you want. Last name, but then they also have drop downs in Airtable where you can put your own custom information in there, make it a drop down. Input validation, yada yada, fancy way of saying like only emails can go here, only phones can go here. Gets a little more interesting with dates where, you can actually do a little date picker. But this is a little, tough to read for our teammates. So you can use formulas to make that date field way more approachable and easy to understand. You don't want them to have to look at their phone every single time to figure out what was the second of Tuesday or Friday. Instead, we just tell them, boom, Tuesday, November 1st. There you go. Same with the checkout date. And then you can do another formula field where you bring in all the information, first name, last name, property, check-in, checkout, status, and put all that information in there. Make it really simple for your team. But as you scroll, you can see like, oh man, this is pretty daunting. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at. Well, one thing Airtable has, it's a very huge superpower, is views, to where I'm going to show you the owner financials using this same data for these different properties. Here's the Adams Family Mansion. And so it was the same. This is all the same data, but we're hiding a lot of fields and we're filtering to where we're only showing the accepted bookings and only people staying at the Adams Family Mansion. And we're grouping it to where we want to see the year first, then by month. And what that creates is all of a sudden we have this amazing view where you can see Shakira stayed there and you can see the information we want to show the owner. And then we have these different amounts calculated. So payout amount after automatically collected taxes and fees minus the cleaning fee equals this amount. Then 75% owner share based on that stay. And then 25% commission based on that stay. Here's the average nightly price. All this calculated perfectly for this particular property. And what we can do is actually share a link to this view or embed it on a website. And then this owner can look at any point and see all of the updated 24/7 correct information about their property. And you have these handy things where, it'll basically add or, total up everything that's happened in the month, everything that's happened in the year. You go high enough and you can see, down here at the bottom, this is for all time, all of the 75% owner shares for that property. But you can collapse these, you can open them. And, I just showed 75%, 25% for the commission. On this Bel Air Mansion one, you can actually change it to where they get, 80% owner share. So on theirs that you share, you're showing them only the 80% and the 20% commission. And that's the view you share. And so even though the 75% math is in there, that owner's never seen that. And when these, when the records come in, because as soon as the booking happens, we're using another software I'm going to talk about tomorrow, Zapier, to bring that information into Airtable. Automatically, all this information is going to be put in here, and automatically all these math calculations are going to be calculated. And what's great is we can use the math in this to send notifications to our owners that reflect the 80%, the 20%, or the 75% for a different owner, the 25% commission, and make it completely customized to them. And because Airtable does all the math for you, it's a very simple zap, and it actually just makes it much easier and, gives you the exact information you need. Take it a step further. This is the financials. You can also do calendar views in Airtable, where this same data again is viewed in a calendar view. So we have Nemo the fish stayed, and you can share this view with the owner, and they can see the exact same data. And since we're logged in, we could actually change the data. The fish. And they'll change here. And if we go back to this view, let's see, where are we at? Nemo the fish. We go back. We got an H. Let me go back over here to this one. And he's got his H back. So you can look at your data in various different ways. These are all the different views that are an option down here. But especially in a short-term rental business, it's so helpful to have dates because everything relates to check-in and check-out time. And so let's say we want to make a view for our cleaners so they can use it, but we really don't want to have the financials, right? So you can actually do that where you make, let's see, you have a view for your cleaners, and they click it. All they're seeing is a check-in, check-out, number of adults, number of children. If you have pets, you can add a pet field on there. Like, are there pets allowed? Are there any going? Any information you need to give your cleaner, you can give to them here. And again, they're not seeing any of the financials, but they're getting a visual representation of what's going on in your business. Somebody cancels, automatically it is off the calendar for them. No more syncing calendars. You just set it up one time and it just works. One of the most important things about Airtable is that it's your single source of truth, which means if you change any of the information in Airtable anywhere else, if it's referenced in a guidebook, in a website, anywhere it pops up, let's say you change the Wi-Fi code, you change it in one place, and then on your website, on your digital guidebook, in any notifications, any messages you send to guests, it'll be the new correct Wi-Fi. Same with cleaners, same with property names, same with anything. Financials, you change it in one place, then owner reports change automatically. Any future emails get corrected to the right amount. Commissions automatically update. Single source of truth. Here's a silly example you can watch real quick, just showing you how that works, what it looks like. And again, there's a big problem with data being in different little silos where like this spreadsheet's right, but this one's outdated. That's all gone now. You have one place where it's updated. And from there forward, it's updated one time. Some guest doesn't want to be called, let's say Jimmy, he wants to be Jim. So now you just change it to Jim in one place. And then every text message after that, every email after that, his website that's personalized with his name. If you want it to be Jim instead of Jimmy, you do it one time, one place. Everywhere that information goes will now be correct. Okay, so let's say Batman is finally like, hey man, you know what? I've got a pretty solid name. Let's put it on the listing. Let's call it a Batman Cave. I think it'll drive up bookings, got a good reputation. Well, let's just go for it. So you can see I just switched from Bat Cave to Batman Cave. If I go back here to guest now, you can see Batman Cave, Batman Cave. Look, Bruce Wayne is the owner of the Batman Cave. But, actually thought about it again. I already have enough people looking for me. I don't want to, bring in the wrong people. Joker might come after me or something. So let's go and just switch it back to Batcave. So this is a linked record with the properties tab. So I can go back here and I can change it. Or I can just click here. open it up, say, yep, let's make it Batcave. Probably smarter. So Batcave updated, X out. Oh, there's Batcave. Now it's Batcave. And I go back here to properties. It's Batcave again. Everywhere it's referenced throughout any cleaner calendar, any owner calendar, any website that's pulling in the data from here, it's now Batcave again. But that quickly, it was Batman Cave. And let's say, okay, Alfred Pennyworth, he kind of feels like going by Al now. So here, we'll put it back. I'll go here, show you. So I have cleaning team, Alfred, right, for Frodo. We'll go back to cleaning team, and we'll just say, you know what, we're going by Al. Go back to guests. F drops off, there's Al. So Alf is the cleaner. Al is the cleaner, sorry. Okay, so obviously things are related to dates in the short-term rental industry. So you can have it set up this way where it's filtered based on if it's accepted, check-in date is on or after today. This is all incoming guests. But for guests that are next 3 days, we just switch that to check-in was within the next 3 days, still accepted. So you can quickly look down the list and see who's in what bucket. Barry Sanders is going to be an all incoming guest. He's going to be in the next 3 days. And in fact, he's in check-in today as well. But one thing you might notice is that each one of these has a different order of the fields, and you can move it without breaking anything. Again, Google Sheets, if you'd have to copy and paste everything, it'd be a nightmare. In this, every single view can look different, act different, show different things that are relevant at that time. And that makes it so much easier for your teammates. So, check in today. You can just go in here, door code been set. Door code is this. Check-in time is this. And it'll update everything related to that stay. But it doesn't actually look like this because this is kind of a sneak preview of what's to come. But we can go over here. This is the little demo I'd set up. Let's come over here to this example. And it's set up where all these different people, this is a today's check-in kind of demo. This is what my team actually looks at, things like this. But you can see, okay, Michael Gerber's checking in today. Looks like we need to put his phone number in. Looks like we put in his door code and the hospital URL. So what they would do is they would come in, put in the phone number, and then all of a sudden this pops up and that would go straight to their phone, the text with their phone. Show you about that in a couple days. Then, all right, let's do the door code. Well, they need to come in at noon. Yes, it's already set. And we'll say it's 6332. And as soon as I enter all that information in, you see this preview check-in message shows up. So they click here. This would be an actual text message fully set up for that property. And as you can see, brings in Bluth Model Home, brings in Michael Gerber, brings in noon, brings in that specific door code. If we go in and we say, it's actually Frank Gerber, hit the preview message. Guest name is now Frank Gerber. And this is just a demo, but you can see it would actually update the Airtable database in the back end. So my team never has ever been inside of Airtable. They just look at this, and it makes it so simple for them to follow the color-coded steps, but they're interacting with the Airtable data I want them to interact with to where they really can't mess it up. And it makes it so much easier. So now Frank Gerber's staying at the Batcave. Click here. Batcave, Frank Gerber, noon, 6332. And they can either click this button to schedule a text for 9 a.m. or this one to send it immediately. And if they click that and hit close, boom, the message went away. I'll put in a website here to show this. And once there's a link in here, this is for the hospital URL, then they'd be able to click here and it would go directly to that person's hospitable conversation. And so then anytime they'd be looking at Frank Gerber's information, they would have it all here. Plus, as you'll see, for current guests, there's other things that I focus on. There's a checkup message we may or may not send depending on how things are going. Is guest having a great time? That's something we keep track of. Again, they never use this section, so I'll bring this over here. Say, guests having a great time, and notes about the guest. And so they would say, yes, having a great time. They mentioned this. I even have a field where they can attach screenshots of the different images. But that makes it to where, you know, each stage of the stay, they're focusing on different parts with the guest. And then check out tomorrow. It's going to then have, you know, don't schedule automatic checkout instructions, send checkout instructions right now. Again, this is all one giant spreadsheet, but you're only slicing it down to the things they need when they need it. And if you're a solo, entrepreneur doing this, you will be fine working inside of Airtable and following these steps. But if you have a team, that's when this comes in handy, because then you don't have to teach anybody how to use Airtable. You just teach them to follow the color coding. And then if they get, if they fill it in, then they'll see the phone button. If they fill in the hospital, then they'll see the hospitable link. If they fill in this information, so if I remove check-in time, that turns pink again, and that button over here disappeared. But if I put it back at 10 a.m., that button's back. 10 a.m., then, it's that simple. And another thing with Airtable that I love, you can use it as the ultimate automation trigger. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of specific ways you want to send automations that you can't do in any other way. For example, if here on guests arriving in 3 days, we check that guest has requested early check-in, and I check that box. Then over here with the stop sign, that's my little code to do not edit this because it's an automation. But I have this one set up to be, if the check-in date is tomorrow and it's accepted and the guest requested check-in time is checked and it's this time, then I want them to show up in this view. And based on that view, based on a new record shown in that view, a text message is sent to my team saying, oh, by the way, Barry Sanders requested early check-in for tomorrow. So be, basically 24 hours before they check in, make sure to update the guests if we have, if we're going to be able to accommodate or not. And then before the guest has to ask again, hey, remember me? I asked about early check-in. We can go ahead and answer them proactively, show them that we're caring, show them that we're paying attention, all that stuff. And it's so simple. You set it up one time, and then you just train your teammates. Hey, anytime someone requests an early check-in, just check a box next to their name. And from that point forward, you get a reminder every single time. And that's just one example, but you can do that with anything. Oh, trash days on Wednesday. If a guest is staying and it's Tuesday night, please, text them the message saying, hey, can you do us a favor and bring the trash in, or, take the trash out? All sorts of little things like that are possible with Airtable that allow you to completely control the workflow, completely control how your business operates. And, you set it up one time and then it just works forever after that. Again, I love it. There's so much more in this. This is just the very scratching of the surface, but you can see how powerful it is just to be able to quickly see what stage people are at in their, journey into properties. And again, this is the Airtable version. There's a whole dashboard that I'll show you in a couple of days that actually shows you how this information is put in an even better, more visual sense, and have those dynamic color coding and things like that to where it's impossible to mess up. So Again, it's been a brief overview of Airtable, but hope you can see how much better it is than anything Google Sheets could hope to be. Plus, tomorrow I'm going to show you how all the information from each booking gets put into Airtable without me or you doing anything. All right. Thanks, y'all. You're doing it. Riding the bike.